Seattle News Weekly from Fox 13.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Seattle News Weekly podcast here. Glad to have you joining us on this beautiful week. I'm in a good mood because guess what? Obviously, Seattle won the Super Bowl. We had this amazing parade yesterday, and we were wall-to-wall coverage on it. Today's guest, I have Austin Lane. He is a, let's call it, you're a utility producer at our station. You do it all.
I do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Here.
But the reason why Austin's here with me is because I said he's the perfect person to talk to because he is a lifelong Seahawks fan. He also was in the control room yesterday when we were doing the parade coverage. So he knows everything football, a lot of sports in general. So you're a great guest. So thank you for making the time for me today,
Of course.
Austin.
Thank you for having me, Hannah.
Let's recap. Okay. Did you watch the game, obviously?
I watched all of the game, every snap, every second.
Yeah. What was like your biggest moment of that game when you knew you were like, man, we're gonna win this?
I think it was Uchenna Nwosu's strip sack return for a touchdown to put us up, big at the end there. And there were a couple moments before that where you kind of almost felt like, okay, are we about to win the Super Bowl? And you, being a Seattle sports fan, it's never certain until that final whistle blows. We've seen so many blown leads and everything over the years that it didn't feel real until kind of that play okay, I think we just won the Super Bowl. I think with 99.9% certainty, I can say we have won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Before that, though, I thought to myself, wow, is the kicker going to be the MVP of this game?
He could have.
Didn't he put 6 points in the very beginning of the game, right? Because it wasn't a very big touchdown game up until that point. So,
yeah.
The kicker had to come in, and I thought to myself, a lot of times I just don't pay attention to the kicker, but for some reason for that game, I was like, who is this guy? And he's amazing.
Jason Myers was right there, like almost about to take the lead in the race for Super Bowl MVP before we started getting the ball to other players. AJ Barner caught the touchdown and Kenneth Walker was running all over the place. He ended up getting Super Bowl MVP, obviously. But yeah, going into the fourth quarter, it was 12-0 on 4 Jason Myers made field goals. And it was looking like, man, if we only score our points from field goals, Jason Myers might win MVP of this game. It would have been so funny to have a kicker be Super Bowl MVP. He's the MVP in my heart. He really did make such a big difference in the game.
Yeah, and you want to give them the shout out because they don't get a lot of the attention a lot of the time. So that's why I brought him up, because I said, hey, wow, what a key player of that game. And for somebody who watches but not watches as intently as you, obviously I love the Hawks and I watch the games here and there, but I watched the Super Bowl game and just watched carefully. But even if you're not an expert, there were moments in the game, Austin, where I said, wow, what a beautiful play. For example, I didn't know that I really appreciated Kenneth Walker. There was this one play, I don't remember exactly where it was, but I saw him kind of walk a little bit, and he found this small pocket, the smallest pocket ever, and then he went out like a bullet.
Yes.
And that is when I realized, I go, wow, that is the beauty of Kenneth Walker.
That is the difference between like an okay running back and a good running back in the NFL. Do they have patience? Because any running back can kind of see a hole and hit it, but it takes a good running back to kind of determine and take time to open up, his depth of field depth, and just say like, okay, what hole am I going to hit? Is it the best option? Even if it looks open right now, if I hit it right now, I might only get 2 or 3 yards, but if I bounce it outside, I might go all the way down the field, So that we saw that in the game from Kenneth Walker. We saw it over the course of the season, over the course of his Seahawks career, really. He's a patient running back, knows when to hit the gaps, and then once he hits it, it's like every time, it's like, oh my gosh, he just made the right decision.
Oh my gosh, he's right. Much respect. So we had Lauren Hembrecht. Of course, we had our amazing sports team. First of all, I just kudos to the sports team. You had Aaron Levine, Alyssa Charleston, Ethan McReynolds. But then also we had people back here at home covering it, from Lauren Hembrecht to Chris Swanson. We have such a meaty sports department, and it really showed, I think, the way we covered it. So really kudos to our sports team. I'm not trying to no, I am going to plug her. Why wouldn't I plug us when they not? Deserve it, right? So they did such an amazing job, and Lauren Hembrecht did like a recap of the game. So let's listen in on what she had to say.
Seattle's dark side defense dismantled the New England Patriots 29-13 last night in Super Bowl 60. Today, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell introduced Mike Macdonald as a champion in just his second season as the Seahawks head coach.
Coach Macdonald brought a leadership style to not just the Seahawks, but the NFL that will have a lasting impact on the league. He's done this in 2 years as a turnaround. again, a tribute to his leadership to the Seahawks. So, Coach, come on up. And you get to face the media as a Super Bowl champion.
Macdonald's defense tied a Super Bowl record with 6 sacks, forced 3 turnovers, and the defense scored a touchdown, proving the old adage that defense truly does win championships.
I got a bad habit of, him and Hana in my office and with the rest of our coaching staff thinking about, plays and what we're going to run and how it's going to go. And then you get around the guys and you see them and all of a sudden all those worries don't kind of go away magically. And I think that speaks to how they played. Just to play that relentlessly throughout the game was really impressive, and really proud of those guys. They played. That was a remarkable game by our defense.
Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker III also took the podium this morning. Walker ran for 135 yards on 27 carries and added 2 catches for 26 yards. He is just the 3rd player in Super Bowl history with multiple rushes of 25-plus yards in the big game, and he became the first running back to win a Super Bowl MVP since 1998.
We worked on a run game all week leading up to the game, and I got to give the credit to the O-line, the wide receivers, and the tight ends. They were real detailed in the run game, and they did their job and made my job a lot easier. It's been a lot. You go through a lot of ups and downs. But when Mike came in, he talked about winning, and I believe everybody on the team bought into that. And, we built a brotherhood, a strong brotherhood, and, I believe that's really what got us here.
The Seahawks cap off their 50th anniversary season in historic style. The best point differential in the 21st century, the most wins in franchise history, and Super Bowl 60 champions.
That sounds beautiful.
What a hire for, Mike Macdonald to bring him in as head coach. It feels similar to when they brought in Pete Carroll all those years ago. And the team, they had gone to the Super Bowl in 2005, but then obviously it took them 7-8 years to get back to the Super Bowl. And it felt like when Pete Carroll was hired, there was kind of a tone shift in Seattle, right? And it wasn't even just for football fans. It was just Seattle sports fans, just people living in this area in general. The Seahawks kind of went from kind of the back of people's minds to the front of people's minds. Like, this is, everywhere. Like, the Seahawks are everywhere. And it feels like Mike Macdonald has come in and kind of done that on his own as well. I don't know. I'm a diehard Seahawks fan, so I'm kind of buried in the weeds at all times. But I would say you're more of a casual fan. But you saw it firsthand as a casual fan. Of course. The kind of difference it makes for this entire region when the Seahawks are at the top of the league versus maybe top 10, top 15, maybe. That's how it was the last couple of years, right? But now you see them as the number 1 team in the league, and you just see what kind of difference it makes to this region.
But what's amazing to me, even for quote unquote casual fan, I knew that in the beginning of the season, no one pegged the Seahawks to go even this close, much less the NFC Championship. So the fact that we got there, and what struck me, that whole it's now this saying we did not care that Mike Macdonald said, but I think that's a great saying for life, because what he's essentially saying is that, for all those people who doubted them and they were saying, all this, that he was just focused on his team, that he did not care about that his focus was on the team. He believed in the team. And I think that is such a great saying in life in general, not just football, but in life, right? And
you can tell it's landing close to home for the players, because they repeat that messaging throughout the season. In their post-game press conferences, they'll get asked a question and you'll hear almost a very similar answer to what Mike Macdonald would say. So obviously his messaging is getting through to the players, and you're not going to win a Super Bowl unless it is. So what a difference that guy makes to the whole system. I mean, just a shock to the system, and they got better he's been here 2 years, and now they're at the top of the world.
Do you think he's a bit unassuming in the sense that, he's more of a quieter guy, right? There's other coaches that you can tell they like the spotlight, they're big public speakers. Mike Macdonald has a reserved side to him, but behind the scenes, obviously, whatever he's doing, it doesn't matter what he portrays to the cameras, because behind the scenes, he's doing a great job with those players and motivating them and saying the right things.
It goes to my point. You're not going to win a Super Bowl unless you believe and trust in your own coach. And he's really getting the most out of these players. And, we're never going to be in those closed door meetings that they
Right.
have down
I
there.
wish.
I know.
Can you imagine being a fly on the wall?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
It would be so fun to just see what those like team meetings look like behind closed doors. But it's very obvious from an outsider looking in that whatever he's doing is working. And it's like, it takes such a successful, not only head coach and assistant coaches and players and the general manager, John Schneider, building this roster, from top to bottom. You have to be perfect at everything you do to win a Super Bowl in the National Football League. And so going back to your point about how they went into the season as underdogs, I think that's a testament to the coaching itself. When you're a favorite and you go into the season and then you win the Super Bowl, it's probably more like, okay, you had the best players in the league and you kind of did what was expected of you. But if you go into the season as an underdog like the Seahawks did and then end up on top by the end of it, that just goes to show you that the development and the coaching is really top notch and really made the difference over the course of this season.
And the confidence that he must have had in his players, and they felt it. I love.
He says we did not care, and you believe him.
You believe
fully.
it. You did not care.
They did
I'm
not
going
care.
to use that in my life. You have haters in your life, Austin. You just say
Do not care.
Do not care. Okay. So the thing that we also wanted to talk about, obviously, is the beautiful parade that we had. And can we say, hey, Seattle, you showed up. And also, not only did you show up, but I was so happy. David Rose and I were anchoring yesterday, and we were just saying, my goodness, thank goodness there weren't any big issues. There was no, big police didn't have to talk about any incidents. Nothing happened that took away from that parade. So kudos to Seattle and all the people that came out. I know that when they said the crowd estimate, they were initially saying, roughly, they expected roughly 1 million. I don't know what the actual number is. That's just so hard to gauge. But all I know, hundreds of thousands of fans came. You were there for the whole thing behind the scenes in the control room. So you saw every camera angle. How many camera angles did we have, by the way?
It was the most I've ever seen in one newscast. As I've been a producer for 5 years,
Yeah.
we had 16 different cameras we could have gone to.
Let me tell. And how many? I swear we had so many I think we had the most reporters. Am I
I
wrong?
want to say the number of cameras that we had with somebody there,
Yeah.
available to talk
Yeah.
for us was 12.
Right, which is huge.
And then
for
we
a
had
local,
4
yeah.
photographer,
Separate, right,
Yes,
from that. So
yeah.
that's 16 different angles, like you said, and 12 reporters who are, that is a beast. Good job to us covering it. We wanted to do it for the fans. And the angles that we showed, just the fact that some of these fans, Austin, they stayed out there. I don't know how, as early. David was telling me something like he heard about 4 a.m. Some of them were lining up in the cold. By the way, it was cold. So the fact that they were willing to be that uncomfortable and inconvenienced, I think that shows dedication and love. Because I'm sorry, it takes a lot to stand out there for 6 hours in the cold just to see them go by for a few minutes.
And that is what I did in 2014. I was at the parade in 2014. It was
You were a baby.
I was 9 years old. Yes, I was. But
Yeah.
I think it was 20 or 30 degrees, and you saw people doing it then. You saw people doing it this week at this week's parade. They don't care. If a team wins a championship, it's going to be a huge parade in Seattle because this whole region loves to come out and show their thanks and appreciation for being that good of a team.
And I also think that Seattle showed, if there is any doubt that we can, host any sport, this is a sports town, right? So if you are somebody who was paying attention to Seattle and say, I want to have a sports team in Seattle, we showed you why you should have a sports team in Seattle because the fan base is so insane here.
And we've been waiting for the Sonics to come back.
Oh, that's Sonics.
Hopefully this will help along the road of us trying to get the Sonics back as well.
Don't get Austin started on the Sonics.
We're finally hosting FIFA World Cup games, and they're even bringing a Team USA game here later this year. And I think, to your point exactly, seeing how Seattle is such a sports town over the last decade or so even, kind of shows these other leagues like FIFA and the NBA, hey, bring your stuff to Seattle. You will not regret it.
You will not regret it. So there were so many, as we just mentioned, Austin mentioned about all those reporters we had out there. We want to play you some of the highlights of, I know Ethan McReynolds were out there, sports reporter, and then we had reporter AJ Janival talking to fans, and then Ethan was talking to, he was able to get some of the players, and which was cool, Austin, you noticed, some of these players were able to hop off the vehicles that we're in.
Just walking along the parade route.
And
yes.
you could, that just ignited the fans because the fact that they could touch and even hug some of these players, you could tell that they were like on fire.
That's what also gets so many people out there, right? Waiting in the cold, because you have an opportunity. The people will go crazy just for a high five or a
even
fist
an
bump.
eye contact,
Yes,
right? Like
yes.
that makes their life. So let's listen into some of the highlights from yesterday.
It was a party here on 4th Avenue in downtown Seattle, with Seattle sports fans proving once again they have some of the best fans in the world.
Best fans in the world, man. This is unimaginable. Look at this, man. We just parlaying, man. This is for the city. This is for the 12s, man. All the hard work they put in all year. Hey, man, and we the best in the world. Ain't no denying that. Let's go.
We deserve this. We love it. All the fans. This is for all the 12s everywhere.
Guess what? We best in the world, man. We did not care.
I love Mike Macdonald, and I'm naming my second son Mike Macdonald. He can do no wrong right now. He's led our team incredible leadership, the best current mind in football, in my opinion. And the future is so bright. I mean, you got to wear shades. It's crazy.
I remember watching the last one. I was sad. I was crying. But dude, that like brought a tear to my eye when we won. That was great.
It's just a great, happy feeling. Nobody's angry, upset. There's no yelling other than, see! 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 See!
For Fox 13 Sports, I'm Ethan McReynolds.
That's it. Here is where the parade ends. Hours of waiting finally culminates right here on Denny. And you can see it's basically become a street party as the 12s have descended, ended up here at the 7-Eleven. There's the watchful samurai of the 7-Eleven here. And we have some fans over here. What was the best part of the day for you, man?
Oh, bro, the day? Man, there's so many people out here. We're all electric. We're all loving it. Our vibes are high, bro. They're on the roof. They're on the ground. They're
Too
on
much
bike.
fun. It's too much fun.
Everywhere.
Soren, what was the best part for you?
He lost on my jersey, even though it's a Ginger Cuz jersey. He signed it. I was crying the whole parade. I love the Seahawks. I'll die for this city. This is what Seattle's about. This is what Seattle's about. Right here. That's what we do. Next year, back at it again. Let's go.
A lot of emotions, a lot of fun, and like you heard it, we'll see you guys next year. Back to y'all.
That was just really fun to watch yesterday. And so going back to the game, though, I know there's some fans who are like, all right, what's going to happen next year? But hey, like, we're in a good place right now.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, my gosh. Second youngest team in the NFL, and they have the fourth most cap space, so basically money to spend.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they're in a great spot. It's going to be interesting to see what they do at offensive coordinator. That's what I'm excited to see most, because Clint Kubiak is now the head coach of the Raiders. So we're going to have to fill that hole. Hopefully get someone in here who was as successful as he was, because the offense was pretty good all season. And obviously they're at the end in the playoffs, did just enough to win us a Super Bowl. So we'll see what they do there. But yeah, this team is just young, and they've got that fire just in their eyes, like you saw after they won that Super Bowl in 2013. That next season, we know how it ended with the interception to lose the Super Bowl. But hey, beyond that, let's just give them kudos for getting back to a Super Bowl.
We got our redemption. That's all that matters. We're going to move forward. Yeah. But you were talking about obviously our offensive line is great, but the talk of the town have been like our defense is just so amazing.
Yes.
What's going to happen there, you think, moving forward?
I mean, we're going to see so many of the same faces and players. I don't see why you would not. You have players who are, here for a while already. You've got Ernest Jones is locked up on contract. You've got Devin Witherspoon is going to be here for a while. And all these players on defense are, going to be familiar names over the next few years in Seattle, because that's the way Mike Macdonald has built this defense.
Yeah.
It's young, and it's going to be around for a while. So we're already seeing them win a Super Bowl. It could be the start of a dynasty if
dynasty,
the cards fall
like
correctly.
That.
We thought this after they won the Super Bowl in 2013, and it didn't really pan out that way. So there's obviously plenty of work to do. But who Who says no?
That word dynasty is beautiful, the way you said that. Let's hope
We
for
could
that.
be the next Chiefs and play in the next, 3 out of 5 Super Bowls or 4 out of 6, however many they played in.
Never say never, right? Anything is possible. All right, Austin Lane, so much fun. Thanks for hanging out with me today.
Yeah,
giving
go
me your
Hawks.
Sports Insight. Go Hawks, everybody. And
Now
remember,
it's Mariner season.
Oh, Mariner season is what, like just 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away?
Spring training, yeah, starting in a couple weeks.
Can't believe it.
I
Can't
know.
believe it. And obviously, we don't have to remind you guys what an amazing Mariner season it was last. So let's see what's to come there. So a lot of sports news to come. Today was so fun because today's topic was just all good. I love it. Thank you so much again, Austin. And don't forget, you guys, we have new episodes that drop every Thursday. And if you want to listen, obviously you can go to Fox Local app, fox13seattle.com, or we have a YouTube page that you can also go to. So many different places and platforms to listen to the Seattle News Weekly podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Seattle News Weekly is available wherever you get your podcast.